In the 1990s, two young men accidentally discovered a problem at a video rental store belonging to Blockbuster, the largest company in the field at the time. They had an idea that would change the entire industry forever. They started implementing it and decided to present it to Blockbuster, who rejected them arrogantly. This arrogance led to Blockbuster's bankruptcy and marked the beginning of a giant company in the field owned by the two young men whose idea had been rejected. What will this new company be, and what is the dangerous idea that could destroy a company whose revenues exceeded $6 billion annually in the 1990s? Let's find out. Our story begins in California with two young men, Red and Mark, who started a software company in August 1997. 2 years into their business in 1999, Red was heading home on Friday night, bored and wanting to watch a movie. Because people were watching videos or movies for a certain year, in 1999, they had to go to video stores to rent a videotape or DVD, watch it for a day or two, then return it. The most famous video store at the time was Blockbuster, which had 9,000 stores worldwide. Red went to one of their rental stores near his house, took the videotape, watched it, and enjoyed it. Everything was fine, but when he went to return it, he was a little late, so they paid a $40 fine. Blockbuster had a policy that if you returned a videotape late, you paid a fine. Red was outside of the Blockbuster store, and this fine issue wasn't easy for him. He thought to himself, our business model has a problem, and it's definitely bothering people. If I solve it and introduce this idea, we can make some good money. Red and Mark's company was struggling at that time, and the opportunity was there for them since Blockbuster didn't have any online business at the time. Red reached out. For his company, the next day he held a meeting with his partner Mark and an employee to discuss the idea. The two young men told the employees, guys, we see a great opportunity here. Does anyone have any ideas? Red and Mark came up with the idea of renting videotapes and DVDs online delivered by mail with no late fees. This is back in 2000. It was an invention, a luxury people couldn't even dream of back then. The idea was innovative and the young men were optimistic about its success. They launched the project and the company started making $5 million annually from it. However, the problem at the time was that they were struggling financially and had debts. To distribute the tapes and DVDs to everyone in America, they needed at least one competitor in every state. If they wanted to sell worldwide, they needed more outlets everywhere. It was a great idea, but implementing it required at least $50 million. Mark, his partner, said they needed Blockbuster itself to help them make this idea a success. They started sending a lot of emails. Blockbuster had a point. It was a company that made $6 billion annually, a huge empire with 65 million registered customers at that time, and a newcomer was coming to talk to them telling them she had an idea that could make her even more money. Months passed and the whole of '99 passed without a reply. Mark said, we tried so hard to contact them, sending messages and calling, but their response was always to ignore us. Month after month, we tried to find a way to contact them, and one day, finally, the long-awaited call came. We want to see you tomorrow in Dallas. The situation was strange. We were in isolation at a very remote training camp on a farm high in the California mountains. Since it was a training camp, my team was wearing tank tops and slippers, and my teammate was wearing this patterned Hawaiian shirt. These were all our clothes, but we had no other option but to charter a private plane and fly straight to Dallas, even though we were already in a very bad financial situation because the distance between Dallas and California is about 2,100 meters, which takes about 3¼ hours by plane. He said we arrived there and entered a very huge building, a skyscraper, all glass, over 20 stories high. We entered a large meeting room with a huge table in the center made of rare wood. As soon as they saw us in our simple clothes, their expressions were clearly surprised, and we knew how strange the situation looked, but we tried to focus and enthusiastically began our presentation. We proposed a partnership project where we'd handle the online service management part, and they'd take over the distribution through their sponsor. We were confident that our project would change everything. The meeting was actually going well. They were asking questions and inquiring about things, and we were answering. And then the crucial moment arrived. They asked us how much we wanted. Of course, we had the figure prepared. We needed $50 million to sell the project and become partners with them. A huge amount for our company, but we desperately needed it to pay off all our debts and get back on our feet. And then came the shock. After a long silence, we noticed them trying to stifle their laughter at the figure we mentioned, as if they were saying to themselves, wow, what audacity. The meeting ended moments later. They ignored our offer and rejected our request outright. They even told us we don't operate that way, and our clients don't think that way at all. We turned away in dismay and returned to the airport in silence. Not one of us uttered a word, each of us lost in our own thoughts. We thought that just meeting with this giant company would solve all our problems, that they would help us and support us. But we were wrong, and unfortunately they became our biggest competitor after what we did. The problem is that we told them everything we do, and now they're our biggest competitor, a competitor that could kill us quickly. We have no choice but to confront them and enter into conflict with them. Since the wave is so high and we can't escape it, we have no option but to face it and get through it. The first thing we did was reduce our costs, eliminate side activities, and focus all our energy on getting back on our feet. We offered our service online. You can rent videotapes from us and have them delivered by mail for a fixed monthly subscription. And with their service, you can rent and watch movies without worrying about late fees. The delays made it very attractive to users. Blockbuster tried to fix the situation in 2004 and started an online rental service, but the competition was fierce. Marc and Red had already been in the field for 4 years, and they were originally a software company. Their service was very well received by customers. It was easy and fast, and it began to gain more popularity and affect Blockbuster's sales. Initially, Blockbuster's service was confusing for people, and its software was weaker, but once they entered the market, Marc and Red almost failed. Blockbuster still has a significant advantage in branches, reputation, and reach, meaning faster delivery, and the service was very well received, especially after they eliminated late fees. However, the pressure Blockbuster faced was severe, and the owners and management began to waver. Fortunately, there were changes in management. They brought in a new person with a completely different vision. The company's entire future lay in selling other products besides videotapes. With the confusion that was occurring in Blockbuster, Marc and Red were profiting. We reached 2007, and Marc and Red launched a live streaming service for movies online, which completely changed the game and increased competition. Not only that, but then the economic crisis hit in 2008, and Marc said from afar we watched the massive Blockbuster empire crumble piece by piece. Imagine, Blockbuster in the 1990s was valued at $3 billion and had 65 million customers worldwide. Due to its size, the company went bankrupt. All its branches closed globally and declared bankruptcy in 2010 with $1 billion in debt. Marc and Red's company is currently valued at $323 billion, and that company is Netflix. It's a business lesson we should all learn.